Fellow Toastmasters, most honored guest. And our guest, I think, we could probably credit him with an icebreaker too.
Yeah.
You already started your competent communicator manual and you didn't even know it. I would like to start out my competent communicator over. I'm going to start with the icebreaker again. And my wife so kindly titled it Just Jeremy. That's kind of my title. It's Just Jeremy. Started out, I can start way back. My first couple years I spent in Sauk Rapids. Don't remember much of those, I just remember a nice hill in the backyard. Then we moved to the family farm right about that time. My dad built our first house, nice house, looked kind of like a barn the way it was shaped. And I think one of my last speeches, I actually talked about that house. That speech was titled December 7th. You can look back on our YouTube and watch that speech. That was an interesting one. That house burned down when I was 12. That was pretty sad. Then we rebuilt on the same property, the same place, with another house. And we were there a couple more years before we figured out that farming was not paying off at all. So we had to move to the big city, which as a preteen I was pretty excited to move to the big city. Great. I look back at it now, it's like, oh man, that would have been great to just stay on the farm. Oh. So we moved to the big city in '84. I moved to St. Louis Park, where I went to school. The year that we moved, my school, New London Spicer, girls basketball, and the school that I moved to, St. Louis Park, girls basketball, both went to state. Different divisions, I think it was AA and AAA. Both of them took Constellation. I thought it was just kind of a neat coincidence. Both the schools that I attended that one year took the same place in girls basketball. I stayed in St. Louis Park through my teen years, all the way through high school. After high school, I moved out, got a job, started working, started planning on traveling. Saved up lots of vacation time at my job. My first big vacation was Germany. I went and stayed in northwestern Germany for about a month with some friends and family. Stayed in Hasseluna.
Hasseluna. Oh, I was working nearby.
That is where I was introduced to Berenson and Hyde. Both schnapps. Great schnapps. You can't get the really good ones here though. You can only buy the one kind here. I was very disappointed when I came back. I brought plenty back with me when I came back. I got back from that vacation and immediately started planning for my next trip back, which I did 2 years later, and I spent another month there. On that trip, I was able to travel to Bavaria, drove around the Bodensee, went to Neuschwanstein, is that pronounced correctly? It's basically the Disney castle, the castle that the Disney one was based on. And anytime you see a poster of Germany, it pretty much always has that castle in it. And I also was fortunate enough to take a ride on the Transrapid and did 350 kilometers per hour on a train, which was excellent. And it was on a test track. If it was able to go full out, it was, I think, capable of over 500. And that's about 212 miles per hour. It was great. Unfortunately, that I just read not too long ago, a couple of years back, it had an accident. It was not good. I was very fortunate to ride on that.
Any decade,
Yeah, that was
27.
pretty bad. There was a maintenance car left on the track or something. After I got back from Germany, the second time, planned on another vacation. I went to Mexico, or not Mexico, I went to Jamaica that time. Went there for a couple weeks. And then came back from that. Oh wait, that was in between there. Sorry, I got mixed up. In between Germany trips was Jamaica. And got back from Germany the second time, and I had already known Jessica, but then we started dating right after I got back from Germany the second time. We dated pretty heavily, got engaged.
Holy, that's really nice.
As soon as I got back, she called me up, we went out, and the rest was history there. We got married about a year later, moved to Wilmer, commuted from Wilmer to Minnetonka for work for about 2 years, almost. Then we had Kira during that time, and then she was pregnant with Braden at that time. Kira's now 8, Braden is 7, and we just recently, 2 years ago, adopted Torin. And we also have Dustin, her 17-year-old, and we also raised her nephew Nick, who's going to be 21 in a couple weeks. That is a brief history of just Jeremy.